Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Krit Bhagavantav Punah Punah Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Devyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangapada Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagah Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam na vidusura suraganah Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha. Hari Om. Today, I will give you a summary of the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which we completed last class. You know the title of this chapter is Karma Yoga. So this chapter elaborates on that topic. And the discussion is triggered by Arjuna's doubt that's expressed in the beginning of this chapter. It's a very legitimate doubt only. Based on what he heard in the second chapter. And in the second chapter, as you all would remember, Bhagwan talked about both Jnana Yoga And the point that was emphasized was jnanam. The teaching started with Jnana Yoga. Gita starts from the 11th verse of the second chapter. Prior to that is Arjuna crying and wailing, and that's all. The teaching starts from the 11th. Actually, it starts from the 12th. Bhagavan starts the Jnanam Upadesha from the 12th verse. And 12 to 25 is concentrated dose of Jnana Yoga. And he said, wise people will be free from sorrow. And then what is that wisdom? Jnana. That's what it was all about. So, knowledge was praised, extolled as a means to liberation. And he also concluded. The conclusion of the chapter was the glorification of the man of firm wisdom. Sthita prajna lakshana was talked about. And he concluded the very last verse, Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuyyati Sitvasyam Antakalepi Brahma Nirvanam Ruchati. So that is moksha, nirvana. One gets that knowledge. But in between, beginning and end, jnanam. But in the middle, he talks about karma yoga. And he very specifically said, Arjuna, you go fight. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. May you perform karma with mental equipoise. You study and understand the entire chapter the right way, you should not have any problem. Clearly spoke about the role of jnana, the role of karma, and everything. Like us, or I should say, like Arjuna, we also hear. Somebody says something, but what we get out of this is totally different. Or we don't quite get it. We may get part of it, not the whole thing. So there is always a gap because we filter whatever we hear, we filter it through our own personal biases, prejudices, all that is there. So we do not grasp the teaching as it is. And that's what happened to Arjuna. So he asked the question, and as I said, we would also ask this question only. If jnana is important, and you have praised it a lot, and that alone leads to liberation, why take to karma at all? So that was the question. Very first verse, and the entire chapter is to elaborate an answer to that question, why action, actually, what action and how to do it. That is the entire chapter. So the introduction to the chapter is in verses 1 through 7. So the question Arjuna posed was, should one follow Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga? Which is the better part? Which is the better path to liberation? And Bhagavan makes it very clear in those introductory verses. There is nothing to choose between the two yogas. You don't have a choice. No question of which is better. You have to do them both. They are not alternate parallel paths. Jnana Yoga is the only direct means to liberation. Sakshat sadhanam, direct means, no question about it. But to pursue that jnana, to take to jnana yoga, to take to that path, the necessary qualification must be prepared, must be fit. Most of us don't have it. We don't have the purity of mind, the detachment we have. We don't have the maturity. Mm-hmm. So if you do not have these qualifications, don't feel bad. Okay, when I say you don't have the purity of mind, that doesn't mean you are wicked or evil or anything like that. Purity in the spiritual sense. Mm. So we have to understand what that purity means. Mm. And if you don't have it, go get them. That's all. As simple as that. You should acquire them before you go head first into Jnana Yoga. And that can be done only through Karma Yoga. That is the point. So you should very clearly understand, you do not have a choice. So at the end of this chapter, that point should be drilled into your head. I must perform Karma Yoga to purify my mind, to prepare myself for Jnana. And Jnana is the direct means. Very clearly understand that. So the essence of all our scriptural teaching is follow Karma Yoga, become eligible, take to Jnana Yoga, get that knowledge, and attain moksha. Our problem is we hear so many, and people talk about many other yogas. So many. Japa, Tapa, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti, Upasana, Dhyana, left, right, and center, you hear so much. Kriya Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, so much. So, and all of them promise great benefits. But actually, if you understand it right, all of them, except for Jnana, all of them are preparatory means. That's all. And so, they can all be called Karma Yoga. So, Arjuna, your question, which is a better path, that is wrong. Okay? Follow both. Karma Yoga first and then Jnana Yoga. You really do not have a choice. But you do have some choices. Everywhere, when we say you don't have a choice, it's not absolutely choiceless. You do have. You do have a choice as to whether you follow both yogas as a grihastha or a sannyasi. The lifestyle choices are there. For 99% of the people, except for the rare few, for the rest, the householder lifestyle, the grihastha, is most appropriate. And as a householder, as a grihastha, pursue both karma yoga and jnana yoga. So when I say you take to karma yoga first and then take to jnana, that doesn't mean I won't do any spiritual studies till I get 100% purity. No, not like that. This is the sequence, general sequence. But as a grihastha, you must do all your karmas with karma yoga bhavana. And at the same time, to the extent that you can, you must devote some time to the pursuit of knowledge as well. So that is applicable, appropriate for most people. But for the rare few, sannyasa ashram, That sannyasi, he doesn't spend any time on karmas, he devotes full time in the pursuit of knowledge. If you're ready for it, you can. And as I said, very few are ready. So you have to make yourself ready. And householder's life is the best lifestyle choice for that. So in this introductory part, the most important verse is the third verse. Lokesmin dvividha nishtha pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogyena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. So both two lifestyles are there. Take to either one, follow both the sadhanas and be free. You should make sure you're ready. Even to take to sannyasa, you should be ready. Otherwise, if you skip grahastha ashrama, karma yoga, and jump to sannyasa ashrama, jnana yoga, you will be thoroughly disappointed, disgusted. It won't work. So you have to be ready. So that is very important. That idea was discussed in the introductory verses, the first 7 verses. Then from verse 8 to 20, Bhagwan elaborately discusses the Karma Yoga topic. Karma Yoga, as you can readily see, has 2 words in it. Karma, meaning action, and yoga, meaning the attitude, the proper attitude when performing the action. Proper action plus proper attitude makes karma into Karma Yoga. And scriptures talk about karma into 3 types: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. We will see all those in detail in the 14th chapter, and again in the 18th chapter, Bhagavan devotes considerable time to talk about these 3 types of karma: sattvika, rajasika, and tamasika. Sattvic actions are the best, rajasic actions are mediocre, middling, and tamasic, the worst. Why? Because sattvic actions promote spiritual growth. Rajasic actions promote spiritual growth, but they're whereas tamasic actions do not, they are a hindrance. They block, they retard spiritual growth. So it's no good. So we are talking about the contribution of those karmas to spiritual growth, mental purity, etc. All actions in which the beneficiaries are more and more will be sattvic actions. When you perform sattvic actions, more people get benefited. Rajasic action, the circle of beneficiaries is rather small. It may sometimes just your immediate family, small. Tamasic action, totally self-centered. So with sattvic actions, you gain greater mental purity. Rajasic actions, beneficiaries are fewer. The contribution to your spiritual growth is minimal. Tamasic actions are harmful actions that may give you material benefits, but then others will get hurt. And your actions will hurt you also in the long run. So a karma yogi takes to more and more sattvic actions. The 18th chapter, when he summarizes the entire teaching of Gita, when he talks about this, you will very clearly understand how the sattvika karmas are nothing but karma yoga. about all this in detail in this chapter. So, no need to go into those details again. So, sattvic actions, the proper action. Then Bhagavan talks about proper attitude as well. What is the attitude? What is a karma yoga bhavana? The attitude is that of samatvam, maintaining the equanimity of mind. And how can you keep your mind in balance? How can you keep that equipoise? Bhagavan prescribes two methods. There are two aspects, not two separate methods. There are two aspects to it. You need them both. One is what is called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, dedicating all actions to Ishvara. Everything should be God dedicated action. And when you do that, when you're forced to do something that you don't like, it's a tremendous tension, strain, stress on your part. Those who go to a job that they don't like will be miserable. I'm doing something I don't like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks in the year. I just get 2 weeks vacation. Take away 2 weeks, 50 weeks. And I do it for 30, 40 years. Oh my God, what a drudgery. Huh? That's going to bring a lot of stress and strain in my life. Huh? And after that, you keep saying, I can't wait to retire. And after doing it for 40 years, you retire and you don't know what to do. You've been doing it so long, you don't know what to do anything else. You don't know. Then that retirement years hangs on your head even worse. Anyway, let's not get into all that. So you get physically and mentally exhausted. I don't like to do this, but I have to do this. In Karma Yoga, if you do not get the action that you like to do, then they say you learn to like the action that comes to you. If you do not get the job that you like, learn to like the job that you get. Our old-fashioned marriages are that way. Yeah, only these days, dating and all that are there. You go through so much of screening before, and still, okay. But in the good old days, this is the guy you need to marry. I've been told he comes from a very good family. He's well settled in life. I said, okay, mommy, okay, daddy. And you begin to like that person, love that person. And that works. It can be a karma yoga. Very good sadhana. It will purify your mind. Anyway, to maintain samatvam, I should love what I do. This is called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Whatever I do it as a worship of God. You have that love and devotion for God. So then there is no tension, there is no strain. When I do some actions, there will always be results of action. So that is another part of it. So I am not only the doer of action, I'm not only a karta, but when the results come, I get to experience, enjoy the results, or suffer from the results if it is adverse. So I'm a bhokta also, experiencer. I experience the results of action. And sometimes it is some past action now, or it could be the immediate past or remote And it can also be concurrent. All these possibilities are there. Now, how can I accept the results, especially when I have done everything right? And I still don't get the result I want. I suffer. How can I accept that? The only way is to learn to accept all experiences as blessings from the Lord. It is the blessing from that Ishvara whom you worship. Ishvara Prasad. So this kind of attitude is called Prasada Buddhi. Thus, as a Karta, you have Ishvararpana Buddhi. As a Bhokta, you have Prasada Buddhi. So these are the two aspects, two facets, two important ingredients to Karma Yoga. This is the bhavana we are talking about. This is the attitude. Ishvararpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. And when you perform actions with these two attitudes in that, you will gain samatva. So buddhi means attitude, bhavana. Attitude of dedicating all actions to the Lord and the attitude of accepting the results of action as the Lord's blessings. And this was also said in the second chapter. And he even defined karma yoga as samatvam yoga uchyate. Balance of mind is yoga. Then he asks everyone to do karma yoga by looking at karma yoga from different angles. Why karma yoga? He gave several reasons. First, he said, take it as a commandment from God. If you do not understand the greatness or importance, at least out of fear, you follow. We follow many rules, many laws of the land. Not because we appreciate those laws, but because we will be punished if we do not. When the mind is gross, we have to instill fear. So if you do not follow Lord's commandments, you will incur sin. Pratyavaya papa. This is karma yoga due to Ishvara Ajna, commandment from God. But if you're a little bit more mature, Bhagavan says, it need not be out of fear. It can be out of a sense of gratitude. Follow this path as yajna, as an offering, as a worship. Pujya Swami Chinmaya says beautifully, whatever you have is God's gift to you. And what you do with it, what you do with what God has given you, is your gift to the Lord. What I do, what I contribute, that becomes the expression of my gratitude. So convert karma yoga to yajna. This is the second way to look at it. The third angle Bhagavan presents is karma yoga as shodhakam, purifier. Whether you take it as the Lord's commandment or worship of God, does not matter. Karma yoga is the best method of cleansing your mind to remove likes and dislikes and all other negatives such as kama, krodha, etc. Karma yoga as a purifier. Chittasya shuddhaye karma. Vivek Chudamani. Chitta Shodakam Mukti Sadakam, Ramana Maharshi also has said. Then the fourth angle, Karma Yoga is Dharma. Karma Yoga is the only way of life by which cosmic harmony can be maintained. Karma Yogi is in tune with all his surroundings, contributes to global harmony. This is called Dharma. Thus, follow Karma Yoga as Agnya, commandment, or Shodhakam, purifier, or Dharma, social harmony. Whichever aspect appeals to you, take to that. But what is important is that you follow Karma Yoga. So this is the beautiful teaching given in verses 8 through 20. 20th verse, first line. From the second line of the 20th verse, Bhagavan talks about the duties of a jnani. Okay, you've done your karma yoga, you purified your mind, taken to jnana, and you become a jnani. Now, do you have any duties at this stage as a jnani? Now, he's discussed that those duties also become guidelines for a spiritual aspirant, spiritual seeker, a karma yogi. In that context, he has discussed this. A jnani does not require any sadhana. He has no duties to talk about. He has already accomplished the sadhya. What is to be accomplished, he has accomplished. So he has no more do's and don'ts. Others in society are ajnanis and they have to follow all disciplines. But the jnani, as long as jnani is in the society, and he will be there. Thank God, jnanis are there. You gain jnana and you drop dead, then nobody will want to become a jnani. So we do need jnanis, and so they continue to live. Jivan Mukta, elsewhere we have seen, and we'll also talk about it. Jnanis continue to live till they exhaust the prarabdha. So as long as the jnani lives, what should he do? So he should actually follow discipline, serve as a role model. Jnani being great, the whole society will look up to him. Forget about jnani, even on the worldly plane. People try to imitate movie and TV stars and sports celebrities. You see that happening. So, similarly, society wants to follow, emulate a jnani. And that imposes a great responsibility on the jnani to be a role model. So Bhagavan says, Yad yadacharati shreshtaha, tad evataro janah, sa yat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. Society wants a role model. Children, teenagers, decorate the walls of the rooms with pictures of whoever they adore. So it is incumbent on the jnani to be a good role model. So he said, Na buddhi vedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Arjuna, you may not be a jnani, but you are still a leader. And people look up to you. So you better do your duty. So this topic, to be a role model, was discussed in verses 20 to 29. Then from verses 30 to 35, Sri Krishna summarized the teaching and talks about the significance of Karma Yoga. And 30th verse is the most important verse of this chapter, in which Bhagavan condenses Karma Yoga. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jwaraha. He gives a 5-point program to become a Karma Yogi. The 5 factors to take care of. Number 1, have spiritual in your life. Let it be priority 1. Spirituality. We don't say other goals are not required. Other goals should be subservient to this primary goal. If something that you pursue does not lead to the spiritual goal, they are useless. Let material goals be there, but give top priority to spiritual goal. That's one. Number 2, Ishwararpana Buddhaya Sarva Karma Anushtanam. We've already talked about that, Ishwararpana Buddhi. So dedicate all your actions as an offering to the Lord. So that you do not hate anything that you do. Do not say something is a pleasant duty and something is an unpleasant. Arjuna, we know what kind of duty you have at hand. You still have to do it. And to make it a little bit easier, have this Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. That will help you. Just convert work into worship. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya. So this is the second factor. The third point, nirashihi. Do not have particular hopes and expectation or insist on them. You need to have goals, etc. You're working towards something. You're not saying you just do things just like that. No. But when the results come, be prepared for all outcomes. Because the future outcomes is not in our hands. You are only one contributor to that future result. You're not totally helpless. You do have some contribution. Feeling totally helpless is called a fatalistic approach. We don't say that. Your contribution definitely matters. Certainly you can influence, contribute to your future, but you're not the sole determinant. That's the point. One of the important factors you are, no question. In addition to you, so many other factors influence the future events. Some of them are known, and so you can manage them. Some of them you can control, and you do. Some of them are unknown, uncontrollable, choiceless. So an intelligent person is one who is prepared for facing any type of future results. That preparation is the third factor of Karma Yoga. This again we talked about as prasada buddhi, accepting the results. Whatever I get is what I deserve. Lord knows best. I don't have to second guess God. Bhagwan has given me this result and he knows this is best for me because I have that Shraddha Bhakti. So whatever has come to me, Bhagwan has given me because that is best for me. So this is this kind of attitude, prasada buddhi, third factor. Fourth factor is nirmamaha. When success comes, do not claim the total credit. Yes, you are responsible. You contributed to that success. You're not the only one. So many other factors have contributed to your success. All the other things put together is what we call Daivam. You may call it luck, you may call it grace of God, you may call it Purva Punya. Whatever, all external factors together, Daivam. In success, remember the Lord's grace. This is called humility in success. One should have acceptance in failure and humility in success. So this is the fourth factor. The fifth and final factor is Vigata Jwaraha. Maintain mental poise, mental balance, equanimity. Jwara means fever. Feverish activity. When you're involved in action, there is so much of feverishness in that. So avoid that mental feverishness. Vigata Jwaraha. Otherwise called Samatva, mental poise. So these are the 5 points. Spiritual priority, work to worship conversion, readiness to face future results, humility in success, and equipoise. If you do all this, you are a Karma Yogi. Whoever follows Karma Yoga will have spiritual success. And those who do not follow, they will be spiritually doomed. Yeme matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavantah anasuyantah muchyante tepi karmabhihi. And then, if you don't follow, yetu etat abhyasuyantah na anutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudham stan vidhi nashtan achetashah. They are spiritually destroyed. They may get material benefits, but ultimately they will lose. They do not get peace of mind. So with this, Bhagwan concluded the Karma Yoga summary in verses 30 to 35. Then verses 36 to 43, the end of the chapter, is a Q&A session. Arjuna asks a question in the 36th verse. And then Bhagwan answers. Question is, what is the obstacle to the pursuit of Karma Yoga? You glorified all that, wonderful. You said if you do this, you will eventually gain liberation. If you do not, you are spiritually destroyed and all that. And people know that, but why is it that they don't follow? In spite of knowing its greatness, what stops people from following Karma Yoga? What are the obstacles? So this is Arjuna's question. And Bhagwan says the obstacle is Kama and Krodha, desire and anger, otherwise known as Ragadvesha. You can also expand all this, but he talks about Kama, Krodha, and even that he reduces that down to Kama. The materialistic attraction takes away the entire life of a person. Then he never realizes there is a spiritual aspect to life. That's why we divide and talk about Chaturvida Purushartha, the 4 human goals. Chaturvida Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. The first 2, Artha and Kama, materialistic goals. The latter, Dharma and Moksha, both are important. Because we have personalities. Anatma is matter, Atma is spirit, if you want to call that. Deha is matter, Dehi is the spirit. A picture of both. Therefore, our life should be balanced, in which we take care of both our material needs as well as spiritual needs. For those people, when Artha and Kama needs are so dominant, they will not have any time for spirituality. And they will be stuck with this Kama and Krodha, desire and anger. How to handle them? These are the enemies, but how to win over them? Now, Krodha is another expression of Kama. Anger is another expression of desire. You desire something, you don't get it, and then that leads to anger. So later, he just talks about Kama only. So Kama is an obstacle because when a person is so preoccupied with fulfilling the desires, he will not have any time for anything else. For one thing, desires can never be completely fulfilled because they have the knack of multiplying. You thought you took care of one desire, but that's not the end of the story. It multiplies. Upanishad says, Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyaha. See that in Kathopanishad. No human mind can be satisfied with any amount of money. So then how to manage this karma? It has to be handled in two stages. The first stage is to deal with it in a relative measure. And the second stage is to take care of it at the absolute level. In the first stage, one has to follow a threefold discipline. What are those disciplines? They are damaha, sense control, shamaha, mind control, and vivekaha, discrimination. Damaha, sense control. Just don't allow anything and everything to enter your mind through the five senses. The worldly objects have a knack of taking the mind away from your spiritual goal. Therefore, the first discipline is at the level of the sense organs. Number one, the mind, the thought pattern should also be disciplined. If that is not done, brooding over sense objects will finally end you, and you will end up in the spiritual fall. We've seen that very beautifully in the second chapter. So be alert. Discrimination is understanding that a finite plus finite will still be finite. Insecure plus insecure will be insecurity only. Hence, do not go after anything in the world because all of them are essentially insecure. The world is neither a source of joy or a source of sorrow. I alone am the source. The problem is you. Therefore, the solution has got to be you. Take care of desires by these three methods, disciplining. This is the relative solution. What is the absolute solution? Having gone through this, you have to go through this. Having gone through this phase, we have to go to the absolute solution, which is self-knowledge. The discovery of fullness within. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Once I am full and complete within myself, since I'm not empty, I'm not emotionally bankrupt, I'm not going around with a begging bowl. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? I don't care because I'm an embodiment of love myself. I can give so much love to others. This is called Atmajnanena Kama Tyagaha. Giving up desire through self-knowledge. This is the ultimate solution. And Bhagavan tells in the concluding verse, Evam buddhehe param buddhva samstab atmanam atmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. By gaining this self-knowledge, discovering your fullness, take care of karma for good. If you do that, you would have taken care of anger. So with this, Lord answered Arjuna's doubt. Why do people do not follow and how to take care of that? So with that, the discourse on Karma Yoga is complete. So this chapter is titled Karma Yoga. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.